Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pro Wrestling Collision. I'm Kevin Huntsberger, joined by Jerome Cuson from Pro Wrestling Ponderings.
I'm the full-time guy now, and tonight we get to see the tag team titles. The first two shows focused on the heavyweight title. Tonight it's all about the tag team titles.
That's right, a very unique tag team title defense, and it's actually the first title defense in Pro Wrestling Collision. It's an exciting night here, Jerome.
Espinosa and Ace Hawkins versus Alex Castle Angelus Layne. I'm very excited and intrigued by this match.
That's right, it's also Pro Wrestling Collision's first intergender tag team match, so a lot of history being made here. Once again, it seems like every week, something new and unique on Pro Wrestling Collision.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it. Let's go to the ring.
Kevin, Jerome, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of Collision. Now, as many of you know, at the end, near the end of episode 2, there was a gentleman who made a surprise appearance and a surprise debut for Pro Wrestling Collision. A lot of people call him the cornerstone of Southern Illinois wrestling. Of course, by that I mean the serial thriller, Shane Rich. Well, in that time, I've been trying to get a hold of Mr. Rich. He wants to come to Pro Wrestling Collision. I'm ready to have him in Pro Wrestling Collision. And I thought, what better way than to get the deal signed and done than to do it right here in this very ring. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome the newest member of the Pro Wrestling Collision roster, the serial thriller, Shane Rich!
Jerome, this is great news for Pro Wrestling Collision. Shane Rich, a very talented star in the independent wrestling scene. We've seen him in other promotions, hold championships, singles and tag team. He's a very established star here, and it's great to have him on the roster.
Right, he's been injured for quite some time.
It has been far too long since the serial thriller has been seen in a professional wrestling ring in Southern Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is the return of the serial thriller, Shane Rich. Now, Mr. Rich, or serial thriller, if I may be so bold, cornerstone, the names are endless. The fact is that you embody, you epitomize pro wrestling in Southern Illinois. And at the end of episode 2, you came out of that stage and you made a proclamation that you were ready to return and you're ready to take on the biggest man that Pro Wrestling Collision has. So, Thriller, my question is, are you ready?
I don't think that question's really for me. I mean, let's turn it over to the fans. You guys think I'm ready? I mean, let's be honest. Do I look ready? Chris, I think you got your answer. I'm ready.
So, the serial thriller, you're ready to return, but the man that you called out is the biggest man in Pro Wrestling Collision, that of Bull Bronson. Bull Bronson said there's no challenge in Pro Wrestling Collision. Mr. Rich, serial thriller, cornerstone, are you ready for Bull Bronson?
Chris, make no mistake about it. Bull Bronson is by far the largest pro wrestling athlete in the Midwest. Quite possibly, by far, the largest pro wrestling athlete outside of the Big Show. So, am I ready? I'll put it like this. Born and bred, Southern Illinois, been around the world, wrestled a lot, seen a lot. Where I come from, we don't back up, and baby, we don't back down. So yeah, I'm ready.
So then, without further ado, let's make this official. Ladies and gentlemen,
This is Blake Steele. I don't know exactly what he's doing out here.
I mean, he's scheduled to make his debut against Justice here tonight, but I'm not sure why he's out here, with Shane Rich and Chris Hagstrom.
We were anticipating an announcement about Bull Bronson and Shane Rich and their future here.
Shane Rich, you're out here talking about your big return. You come out here to do a little interview with you. Where's my interview? Now I know I'm not a cornerstone in Southern Illinois wrestling yet, but let me tell you something. I promise you I will be.
In case you're wondering who I am, I'm the Apex Blake Steele. And I am the greatest wrestler in pro wrestling collision. You want to talk about collisions? Wait until you see me. So here's what I'm proposing. You're waiting for your big debut. How about this? How about in 2 weeks, if you're up to it, me versus you, and you can try to prove all this stuff you've been talking about.
Well, listen, Mr. Bowflex. A cornerstone, clearly you're not. Paperweight, that's more believable. I'd buy you as a paperweight. But if you want to make a name for yourself by stepping in the ring with a man who spent over a decade of his life wrestling here, making pro wrestling as great as it is here in the Midwest with all these people, then with the permission of Mr. Chris Hagstrom and everybody here tonight, 2 weeks you want to step in this ring, you want to look Shane Rich in the eye, go one-on-one and try to make yourself what, a contender? Possibly a champion?
Oh, I'm gonna be the champion.
Well, anybody who believes in that is probably the same people who believe in the Tooth Fairy. So if you think you got what it takes to be a champion, go ahead and come on in here, because I tell you this right now, a contender, maybe. A champion, absolutely not. Dead man walking all the way, baby.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Pump the brakes. I said 2 weeks. I want you to get out of my ring right now, though, because I have a match with Justice. And after I make quick work of him, I will see you.
2 weeks. Blake Steele, you got it. I will do you the favor, let you come here, get a warm-up. Little taste of what Shane Rich is going to do you here in 2 weeks. So go ahead, brother. It's all yours.
All right. You have it, folks. In 2 weeks, it's going to be the serial thriller Shane Rich taking on Blake Steele. But coming up after this break, Blake Steele, Justice, it's next.
The Boys and Girls Club saved my life. What I mean by that, growing up in the projects of Newark, New Jersey, a lot of negative temptations, drugs, gangs, a lot of bad things. So, mother and father both worked very hard to support the family. So they would say, go in the Boys and Girls Club, play, fulfill your dream. You want to make it in this NBA thing or NFL thing, go in there, play with other kids, but do not leave this building until we come pick you up. And that was my daily routine. But in there, I've learned how to become a people person. I've learned how to become a team player. I've learned how to become a nice guy. I've learned how to become a protector. I've learned how to become a leader. And it's all because of the Boys and Girls Club. Boys and Girls Clubs, great futures start here.
For more information on how you can contribute to the Boys and Girls Club, visit bgc-cdale.org.
Got coffee? If not, head to Crossroads Coffee Company in Carterville. But not only do they have a variety of coffee and tea, you can pick up breakfast, lunch, or dinner anytime. That includes the Kevin Huns Burger, an 8-ounce Angus burger on a toasted ciabatta bun and topped with homemade chili, pepper jack cheese, waffle fries, and jalapenos. $2 of each burger goes to the American Cancer Society. Check out the new wine and beer selection and be sure to join them for Open Mic Night. Crossroads Coffee Company located off Route 13 in Carterville. Wrestling fans, if you're looking for extensive coverage of all things professional wrestling, look no further than the Wrestling Press. The Wrestling Press covers the industry in the United States, Europe, and elsewhere across the globe. From reviews and news to commentary and show recaps, the Wrestling Press has all your professional wrestling needs covered. Find them online at thewrestlingpress.com.
If it rocks, it's TAO Rocks. TAO Rock 92.7.
Pro Wrestling Collision is brought to you by Crossroads Coffee Company in Carterville, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week.
Our opening contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Already in the ring, from the closest mirror wing at 195 pounds, the Apex, Blake Steele!
Welcome back, folks, to this episode of Pro Wrestling Collision. Of Blake Steele making his Collision debut here, and no shortage of confidence, would you say, Jerome?
Absolutely not. I mean, we can talk about this guy being a paperweight, but he's got a chance to prove himself tonight. He's making his debut against Justice. Justice, a very successful professional wrestler. Despite the loss that he suffered last week against Zach Sawyer on Collision Course, this is a big test for Steele.
That's right, Justice, a very big competitor.
And his opponent from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing 295 pounds, Justice!
One of the biggest competitors in the locker room, and a lucky fan just received one of his bandanas.
And Justice is no warm-up, as I mentioned before. This is an accomplished professional wrestler, and for these two guys, this is a big opportunity. You know, we're not in tournament mode anymore. You know, every singles match is about going for either the no limits title or the heavyweight title. So that's what the long-term thinking has to be for everyone who steps in the ring now.
And Blake Steele already established that one day he is going to be the champion. Of course, you got to get through Justice, a big, strong man too, as we've mentioned. He easily backing Steele, the Apex, into the corner. And he's demanding referee Aaron Heller back Justice up.
And Justice will oblige. He likes to play by the rules. Steele will not, so it'll be interesting to see how that clashes.
And he's calling for a test of strength. I don't necessarily think that's a very good idea by Mr. Steele here.
Well, we'll see how dumb Steele is if Justice accepts.
Justice obviously has the height and the weight advantage.
The height, the weight advantage, the strength advantage. What Steele has to do is he's got to get out of this hole and come up with a new game plan.
Absolutely right, and Steele forced down to one knee at this point, and almost immediately when they locked hands here, that happened. There you go.
Quickness, as you see Steele showing the quickness off, and this is the kind of action you're going to see in Pro Wrestling Collision. Just a big night of action with the tag team titles a little bit later tonight in our main event. And this is a wonderful opportunity for these two, for our champions, and for the crowd here in Carbondale.
Very well said, Jerome. And Justice getting back up to his feet now and reversing it perhaps once again. You can see, and Steele ends it quickly there with a boot to the midsection, followed by an uppercut.
Nice uppercut there, and this is what you have to do. Use those strikes and the speed to his advantage. And it appears that he's got that to his credit.
Big snap mare.
Single leg to the face there, and when you work on that head, everybody's head is vulnerable. It's one of the most vulnerable parts of the body, so if he focuses on it, this is a good strategy for Steele.
And Justice is down, but you know what? Steele doesn't seem to be capitalizing as quickly as one might think. When you've got a guy like Justice, you want to take full advantage when he's down like that.
Justice with a nice reversal catches him. Now we could be seeing
body, but
fall away slam there, and you got to wonder if Steele laid down a challenge for 2 weeks from today against Shane Rich. Is he thinking about Rich and overlooking Justice?
And you can't do that. That could be a fatal mistake. as Steele strikes once again, and there's that uppercut we've seen a couple of times already from him tonight.
Yeah, that European-style uppercut, but Justice coming back with those left hands. Justice, a southpaw, now going to whip him off.
Whoa, reversal.
Back elbow by Steele.
And Justice is down once again. Steele rolls him over and goes for a pin, doesn't hook a leg, and
Justice again with that power advantage. And Steele, you know, he's going to have to lock the shoulders, lock the legs. He's going to have to cover him any way he can. And this is a wear-down move. You have to believe the longer this match goes, the more it's in favor of Steele because he is a little on the smaller side.
Right about that as Justice gets back up, though. Fights out of that. Steele off the ropes now. Hip toss.
Hip toss by Justice.
With authority, I might add, in a clothesline to his second one.
Those lariats from Justice wearing Steele out, and that's the advantage of having that power. That left arm will cause all sorts of damage.
Oh.
Nice kick to the midsection there by Steele.
Steele kind of working out of that. What's going on here? He's going to whip him in. No, Justice reversed it.
Well, Justice held on. Again, that power advantage, so he was able to whip Steele. Charge misses.
Oh, what's Steele going to do here?
Steele showing off the power.
Can he get him up?
Struggling to pick him up here.
Look at this.
And
Look at this.
Got him, and he drops him. And he calls that as a reverse burning hammer, and it's good enough for 3.
Wow.
Steele now has a significant momentum swing in his favor because in 2 weeks he will be wrestling Shane Rich.
A very
and your winner, the Apex Blake Steele.
Well, Justice was trying to resist, but he couldn't resist for very much longer. And Steele showing the power of his own, and that is certainly something that Shane Rich is going to have to watch out for in 2 weeks.
He wants to be taken serious, that is for sure. Once again, Blake Steele successful in his Pro Wrestling Collision debut.
So a couple months ago, I made a resolution, and more than that, I made a promise to you viewers, to Collision Management, to everyone, that by the end of the year, I was going to hold gold here in Collision. And I knew when I said that it wasn't something that was just going to happen overnight, and it wasn't something that was going to be easy, because I've had to scrape and claw for everything that I've gotten here. I had to fight my way into the Collision Cup. And I knew going into that I had to have a backup plan. Now, the heavyweight title might not have worked out, but that's not the only gold here in Collision.
For weeks now, Pro Wrestling Collision Management has been spouting about how they're giving me an opportunity for the tag team titles here with Alex Castle, how they're giving me gender equality, they're giving me what I asked for. And what you don't realize, management, is that I took it. What Alex Castle and I did at the Collision Cup was tricked you into giving us this shot at the tag team titles. And better yet, his resolution for gold, it's going to come true tonight because we're going home the tag team champions. And you can't say that you gave me anything.
See, it's all about give and take. You were given your spot in the Collision Cup. You were given those tag team titles. You haven't won a match here. Now, I took my spot, and I took the opportunity to get this tag title match tonight. See, it's all give and take. We're going to give you a beating, and we're going to take those titles.
Pro Wrestling Collision returns to the Boys and Girls Club of Carbondale on Saturday, March 23rd. Doors open up at 6:30 and bell time is set for 7 p.m. All 3 championships will be on the line. Plus, come out and see your favorite Collision stars. Tickets are just $10 for adults and $8 for students and kids 12 and under. Get early entry to the building by buying your tickets right now at ProWrestlingCollision.com. Don't settle for anything less than the best. It's Pro Wrestling Collision on Saturday, March 23rd at the Boys and Girls Club of Carbondale. Get your tickets now.